I'm standing here in Galilee on one of the three major Roman roads that are known from the ancient world. You don't see much of it right now. 2,000 years and a lot of thistles have really changed the look of the road. But this is the Via Maris. The Via Maris stretches this direction all the way to a mile marker that's along the shore of the Sea of Galilee in a place called Capernaum. We're going to see that mile marker in Capernaum at another time. As we go by there, we think of the Roman road and the tax collectors that dotted it. The other end of this road, if you go behind me and angle toward the coast, it ends at Caesarea Maritima, where the boats of the Roman Empire crisscross the Mediterranean. All the way to China, this direction, Damascus, and on the way, and all the way this way to Rome by way of Caesarea Maritima. It says in the Gospels, as we're looking at the life of Christ, when Jesus was introduced, John the Baptist was the voice of one crying in the wilderness, and this is what it says: "Prepare the ways of the Lord, make his paths straight. Every valley shall be filled, every mountain and hill brought low, the crooked places made straight, the rough ways made smooth," in order to have all flesh see the salvation of God. The Roman roads described by that verse crisscross the ancient world, 50,000 miles of them, and they made it possible for travel between all the major cities of the Roman Empire. This road is the one that Jesus would have taken. Nazareth is just off this direction. Capernaum is that direction. Whenever Jesus went from Nazareth to Capernaum, he would have followed this stretch of the Via Maris. When the Apostle Paul came up from Jerusalem and came across to catch the boat, which he did in the book of Acts, he would have followed this part of the Via Maris. So this is a part of the road that the apostles in Christ traveled on. We're looking at why Jesus came. Jesus came so that, as it says in the promise of his coming, all flesh shall see the salvation of God, Luke 3:6. Jesus, in his ministry, as it tells us in the book of Mark, chapter 4, went about all Galilee. In the book of Matthew, chapter 4, verse 23. He went about all Galilee, teaching in their synagogues, preaching the gospel of the kingdom, and healing all kinds of sickness. And great multitudes followed him from Galilee, Decapolis, Jerusalem, Judea, and beyond the Jordan. How did all those people find him? Because Jesus followed the road system of the ancient world. And the gospel followed Jesus following the road system of the ancient world. It was along this road that the early believers, during the persecutions, fanned out through every part of the Roman Empire. It's on this road that the Apostle Paul would have made his way back and forth to Jerusalem from his missionary journeys across the Mediterranean. It was on this road that Paul would have come, as also this is part of the road to Damascus. And if you remember in Acts 9, Paul came up from Jerusalem and came along this Via Maris until it branched off to Damascus. And it's somewhere between here and Damascus that Acts 9 took place, the conversion of Saul to become Paul, the apostle of grace. So we're standing here to remember why Jesus came. Jesus came to make the way of salvation known, to reveal himself as the way of salvation, to transform lives right wherever he spoke, and as those lives spread out everywhere they went. When we are in Caesarea, you'll see the launching off to the furthest ends of the earth, but right here in Galilee, where it all began, where Jesus began his ministry around the Sea of Galilee, where he led common fishermen and tax collectors to faith, and they followed him on these very roads for 3+ years until he was crucified. That's what he did. He revealed that he was God in human flesh with 2/3 of his miracles, this direction in Galilee, and then he sent the gospel global, which is why he came. We've come here to the land of the book to see the life of Christ and to see who he was as God the Son and to see what he did, all those miracles revealing his deity, and to remember why he came, so that we, like them who went on these roads, would go everywhere and share the good news of Jesus Christ, the gospel that all flesh might see the salvation of God.